When it comes to overall adoption of cryptocurrencies by country, Kenya and Nigeria are also of positions 1 and 2 in Africa, respectively, and are ranked 4th and 5th globally. The latest data from Chainalysis shows usage of cryptocurrencies globally rose by over 880% in 2020, largely driven by transactions on peer-to-peer platforms in emerging markets. The Global Crypto Adoption Index for 2021 has ranked Kenya the top country in the world in terms of peer-to-peer exchange trade, well ahead of 154 other countries that were ranked. The index makes adjustments for purchasing power parity, per capita, and the internet using population. Also ranked highly in this segment are Togo at number 2, Tanzania at number 4, and Ghana at number 10. Widespread person-to-person crypto trade has also been recorded in Nigeria, which is ranked 18th, and South Africa ranked number 62nd. Today, we're looking at Kenya leading global P2P crypto trade. I'm Tolulokwe Adelaru Balogun. Welcome. This is Business Edge. Now joining me is Ola Atoshe. He's the CEO of CoinCoin, a cryptocurrency exchange. Ola, welcome to the show and thank you so much for joining me. So let's get straight to it. My first question is, in terms of the adoption and the trend, what do you think is driving this, particularly for cryptocurrencies in Africa?
Well, one of the things that I guess is not just speculation is there's a couple of things. So one is in Africa, of course, you have 48 different currencies, and there's a huge barrier to the intra-Africa trade. So cryptocurrencies have been seen as a way out, if you like, a way by where Africans could begin trading with each other cross-border in the way they hadn't done previously, largely because to get money across borders in Africa is timely, it's consuming, it's costly as well, and people just, figured why bother, obviously dealing cross-border when you can deal locally. And I think in so many ways, that's how the design of Africa, if you like, has been built, for countries to deal solely with themselves. But with cryptocurrencies, people across borders and now have access to each other. They're able to trade with each other, in ways that, we didn't previously think possible. So as a result of that, the cryptocurrencies themselves are booming, not just locally within nations, but, amongst nations in Africa. Of course, Kenya and Nigeria are good examples of that.
Now let's drill down to Kenya. What's driving this adoption in East Africa's largest economy?
So Kenya actually had an earlier foray into cryptocurrencies than most of the African nations. The understanding I have is in Kenya, they have in some form been trading cryptocurrencies as early as 2014, especially Bitcoin. And one of the things they did very earlier on within the Kenyan communities, and I don't just mean in Nairobi, but in some of the rural, communities in Kenya, is people started accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. And they also offered, community knowledge or teaching, if you like, around what cryptocurrencies are, what is Bitcoin, why is it being used as a form of payment. There was a lot of knowledge sharing going back as early as 2016, 2018. One recent case that we came across was a lady who had a restaurant who, accepted Bitcoin as a form of payment. And then, of course, she also used the restaurant as a place where people can actually come and learn about cryptocurrencies. As a result, there's been a lot of local adoption of crypto. It's been used to make payments. People have been very, people have found it very lucrative. A lot of people have made money, by storing Bitcoin over the years, and they've then reinvested that money into their business. So people have seen the results in Kenya. as a result, it's pretty much, through word of mouth, people have said, you know what, this works, we're going to stick with it, and it's going to continue. And that's basically what's happened, I think, as far as Kenya is concerned.
In the month of August 2021, combined P2P trading volume on Paxful and local Bitcoins for Kenya was about $16.20 million. This is an increase of 54.28% from $10.5 million in July of 2021. We can see the increase is quite staggering. What infrastructure, what business environments, what environment overall, particularly in Kenya, gives the country the upper hand here?
So there's actually a number of reasons why that has happened, and I think probably to sort of really answer that question is earlier on in the year, when Nigeria restricted banks from dealing with cryptocurrency platforms or exchanges, it restricted a number of payment service providers, not just in Nigeria, but Nigerian payment service providers that were operating out in Kenya. So the ability for Kenyans to actually pay into exchanges using their credit and debit cards, even mobile money, if you like, was basically removed overnight. And everyone kind of got stuck, like, how do I get my Kenyan shillings into exchanges? Because that stopped earlier on in the year, people, got innovative. And as you say, the likes of local Bitcoins and Paxful have done a very good job in innovating their platforms and making P2P the way to go. And in essence, what P2P? Someone has Kenyan shillings and they want Bitcoin or stable coins or whatever it is. And they go to a venue and they're able to, pay Kenyan shillings into someone's account using mobile money, maybe, or using a straight bank transfer, and then they receive, crypto, which is held in escrow by the platform. So, I mean, obviously, it had to increase because that's the only way people can get their hands on crypto. And as a result, it's increased, and it will continue to increase, of course, because that is the only mode by which people can trade cryptocurrency. So I think that's generally the number one reason. The second reason is we've had this year so far what we would call two bull cycles in crypto. So we had a bull cycle earlier on this year where the volume in crypto was rising across the globe. And as a result, the price of crypto was going up. And obviously everybody wanted to take advantage of that. And in so doing, it attracted obviously a lot more people into crypto. And as of right now, early part of September, we are in the throes of what looks like another bull cycle, and people get excited by bull cycles because there are opportunities for people to actually make money, from the crypto they hold. So that's largely, the view that I have, and I think that's really pushed, these volumes up in recent times.
The MasterCard New Payments Index shows that 99% of Kenyan consumers will consider using at least one emerging payment method, such as cryptocurrency, biometrics, contactless, or even QR code. What do you think this means for existing financial services in Kenya?
I mean, of course, there's a couple of things. So I am an advocate for, moving into the future together. So what that means is, yes, there are existing systems, money, of course, fiat money, and the banks provide those services. The banks have always provided those services. Now people have found a better way to do it, and it's simply moving money or moving value, if you like, across the blockchain in a form of either stable coins in some cases, because people feel more comfortable with stable coins that basically hold the same value as a US dollar, and in some cases Bitcoin. And in essence, it's a faster way to move value from A to B, not just locally within Kenya or any given nation, but across borders. It's an easy thing to do. Now, one thing that I would say is that the banks, not just commercial banks or merchant banks or microfinance banks, but even central banks need to catch up. And as a result, central banks, across the world are looking to introduce their central bank digital currencies, which is a form of digital currency, which will also sit on the same technology as traditional, cryptocurrencies, giving them a little edge, in this new industry. So my view is the banks will have to find a way to compete in this new world, because one of the things that we've started to realize, and I think Kenya is showing us this, is that people will often look for cheaper ways of doing things, and if it's going to cost them less to use cryptocurrencies to move value, they will stick to using cryptocurrencies as opposed to doing it, using banks. If the banks cost them more, they just simply won't use the banks anymore. It's just simply a case of if buyer and seller both have access to the infrastructure to use these wallets, they'll probably opt to do that over using the bank. So the banks have to evolve, and if they don't evolve or adapt to where we are, then they'll cease to exist. So it's as simple as that.
All right, Ola, let's take a quick break here. We'll continue this conversation in just a bit. You are watching Business Edge. This is Business Edge coming to you on News Central. My guest today is Ola Atoshe. He's the CEO of CoinCoin Limited. And of course, looking at how Kenya is coming at the top of the league, at the top globally when it comes to peer-to-peer exchanges. Now, Ola, let's pick up on that survey in particular. It shows that 4 in 10 people, about 43% in Kenya, say that they plan to use cryptocurrency in the next year, with more than 2/3, that's about 69%, noting that they are more open to using it than they were a year ago. Do you think that this can boost financial inclusion for the unbanked in Kenya?
As time goes on, we will see, and we expect to see more and more, individuals coming onto the blockchain and getting access to some form of digital assets. And again, the huge number of, I think somewhere around 300 million persons who are currently not financially included or unbanked, as you say, we will be able to bring them on and get them to adopt a form, banking. And again, a lot of crypto platforms, digital assets exchanges, also double as a custody platform. So our platform is a custody platform. We allow people to hold their coin with us, and of course, it's a service which is offered by a number of other, crypto, exchanges. So in so many ways, the whole idea of underbanked, will soon become a thing of the past as we, slowly make more progress. The technology becomes more readily available, and access to people in rural areas, with different forms of technology, get access to wallets on the blockchain.
Recently, Kenyans in the diaspora sent home $336.7 million, setting a new monthly record on remittances since the Central Bank of Kenya started capturing the data. Now, this represents about a 21.6% increase compared to the $277 million recorded in July of 2020. One of the main use cases for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is the opportunity to cushion remittances and cross-border businesses from costly transfer fees and the risk of weakening currencies. Do you see this continuing down the line in the years to come, and this trend actually gaining more appreciation and more participation from Kenyans and Africans as well?
Well, I mean, if the Central Bank of Kenya is capturing that, then it stands to say that the funds, or that money specifically, is coming through the central bank. Well, certainly through banks that the central bank has oversight of. So again, without knowing exactly how the central bank is capturing that data, it would be very difficult to give comments on why exactly we're seeing a higher increase in those remittances. And of course, if it's being captured through other means, it's very possible that some of those monies which are being sent are being done so through traditional, which we can now call traditional cryptocurrency exchanges. But again, I don't know. So how they're capturing that information, I would presume it's through the local banks. If that is how it is, then of course it shows that there's been an increase in remittance from the diaspora to Kenya. But again, at that same token, I would also cite the Nigerian case where we know that a lot more flow from the diaspora into Nigeria is coming via, digital assets exchanges, and people are choosing to use crypto to send money back home, and people are finding ways to cash it out. Ergo, the success of P2P. So I'm not quite sure how the Kenyan bank is tracking this, but if they're using banks, that's all well and fair. But either way, I would still stress the point that a lot more people are finding easier ways to send money back home, to Kenya, to Nigeria, and cheaper ways. And of course, it's cheaper to do it using crypto.
Now, before we wrap things up, Ola, let's look at some of the other countries in Africa. So Nigeria, which generates the highest trade volume every month, has grown by 9.5% from 34.8 million in August 2020 to 38.1 million in August of 2021. We've also seen Togo and Tanzania rank globally on the scale as well, particularly with Togo and Tanzania. What's happening there that you think we should pay attention to?
Well, I think, one of the things that we've tried to do, and it's something we hope to do, we hope to push more in the coming months, is we have a borderless Africa, borderless world motto. And we say that largely because of trade, and Togo is a country next door to Nigeria. And there's a couple of things. One is people want to do more cross-border trading, and they don't want the limitations of fiat currency to hold them back. Togo is one of 6 countries, I believe, that has the XOF, which is the French franc, and for them trade, or for them to have viable trade with their neighbors, like Nigeria or Ghana next door, they need to have access to some form of, cryptocurrency. So in Togo specifically, we're seeing a higher volume, largely because the Togolese have realized that they can get access to a much larger market, which they didn't have access to using XOF and using local banks, because that took too long. And getting their access now to crypto is giving them access again to trade with other countries, which they couldn't do previously. So I think that's certainly the case in Togo. Another point in Togo is there's been an increase in funding in the fintech space, not just in Togo but across the entire French West Africa. And that increase in investment in the fintech space essentially exposed people to more options. There are a lot of companies, in Togo who have exposed the populace to different ways of moving money, and ways of having access to this Pan-African market, which is becoming more and more. It's still the early days. We have to be honest, but the Pan-African, or the African market, the intra-Africa market for trade for goods and services, is slowly starting to pick up pace. And it's certainly very interesting to see the African continent trading with itself, and not necessarily just looking outside of Africa. So this is it's a new world upon us, and this is why we're seeing more activity in places like Togo. In the case of Tanzania, they have their president there is a very pro crypto. And they are certainly looking into getting their own central bank digital currency, but they're not hampering what the private sector is doing in that space. And Tanzania, again, is also receiving a lot of investment into its fintech space. And I feel this is, continually bolstering, a lot of financial tech, and of course, cryptocurrency, and the blockchain is at the forefront of that.
Ola Atoshe, CEO of CoinCoin Limited, thank you so much for joining me on Business Edge. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that's it on this edition of Business Edge. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. And if you've missed any of the business, economic, and financial news coming from here on the continent, do check us out on YouTube. My name is Solulokwe Adeleru Balogun. I'll see you again soon.